Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl. No regular recap for this video. I'm surprised I'm even here after that St. Louis game, and this San Jose game didn't help the case. A lot of negative emotions, not going pretty much on notes for this video, just gonna be off the cuff. I have some little bullet points here and there, but like I said, a lot of negative emotions from that St. Louis game, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, some angst. Can you have angst when you're in your 30s? And, mixing a little bit of depression there, which isn't always a good thing. Seeing Cooley go down with that brutal hit in that St. Louis game, and the lack of response in immediately intimidating and fighting the person who did that pretty much didn't happen. The response on the 5-minute power play where they don't score was a miserable experience, infuriating. I don't have any more colorful adjectives for this power play. It needs to end. Pay out the power play coach. I know it's the holidays. Pay him out whatever he's owed and just move on. It needs to end. There's no more adjectives I could use. I've been using abysmal for 10 games, abhorrent for 10 games. It's bad. Cut him loose. You have Mario, Madden, and Blaine Forsythe. So you have 3 assistant coaches. It's time to move on from the power play coach Blaine Forsythe. And I don't like how Cooley ended up not getting injured. A miracle. And so in that San Jose game, he's in the lineup and you don't even ride that high or that great morale. Just another terrible response to a situation that could have been way, way worse. And it feels like everything is bad, is going wrong in this lineup. The scoring hit a drought against St. Louis, not scoring any goals. They had 18 shots on net. They do score against San Jose, but the inept offense has been a lingering issue since game number 10. And right now we're at game number 27. The defensive mistakes have been pretty brutal. Dersey, since coming back, every game, there's just a glaring mistake he makes, whether it's an errant high sticking play and he gets called for 4 minutes against Dallas because he has one hand on his stick and he's waving it around like a Harry Potter wand, or turnovers at the blue line like we saw in the San Jose game. I'm trying not to pick on a certain group of players or certain player. Just going off the cuff here, the goaltending needs to be way, way better. You don't blame goaltending against the St. Louis game. They let in 1 goal, but you can't score because the offense is just bad. And against San Jose, Vejmelka's not ready for maybe 1 or 2 of those goals, especially the face-off goal. And then Vanacek is not a consistent, solid backup. I had these concerns in the offseason heading into the season. My season preview, go watch it. I was concerned about the goaltending. The only thing keeping me above my head above water was we saw Vejmelka have an outstanding end to the season last year where he played 24 games in a row, earned that contract, and now it seems like his confidence is shot along with the whole team. There's no confidence at all with anybody on this team, not even the coaches. The lines are going into a blender every single game. Against St. Louis, you had a top line of Schmaltz, Keller, Peterka. And then San Jose, it's Keller, Peterka, and Hayden. And then Schmaltz goes down with Cooley and Gunther. The third line has stayed pretty much the same, consistent, and they're the best line. It's because they're consistent, play together pretty much all the time. Krause, McBain, and it's a rotating cast. Most of the time it's Carconi, and because they've been so consistent together, they're the best group of players on the ice in the forward group. Even Keller, Gunther, and Cooley, they've been consistently together, and you can see that chemistry between them game after game. But when you're just blending the lines every game, throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, it's bad. This is a bad spot for the team. They had the worst month of November out of any team in the NHL. It can't get worse, but I think in the back of my mind, we all know, well, I know it can. I've been part of a 14-game losing streak. I've been part of a relocation. So obviously it can get worse. But for this team, just the expectation of making the playoffs, I don't know if that's it. If those heavy expectations for the first time in their career for this core of players, they have this heavy. They shouldn't even be heavy. They have this expectation to make the playoffs. I mean, every team says that's their expectation in game number 1 of the season, but really, some teams are rebuilding and they know they're not going to make the playoffs. But for the first time, they needed to make the playoffs, and they're just falling short. So we want to make changes. A lot of people are saying change the head coach. Almost there. I don't know. I'm bringing this huge negative bias of, let's say you do change the coach and the same thing happens. Well, so it wasn't the coach at all. Is it the players? I think I would start with a trade, and not a trade that ruins the future. You got to be careful with these trades. Do not at all. You are never touching the first round pick this year or for the next 2 years. You keep those. You have 3 second round picks for the 2026 draft. Maybe one of them could be moved. But the players I'm looking at to move are Schmaltz, Durs, in order, Schmaltz, Dursey, and Hayden. But the future of this team, I would love Hayden to be a 4th line center for long term. I want Hayden locked up, this is my opinion, for 8 years, and just go to him. You're our 4th line center for the rest of your career. That would be amazing. And then you have Cooley, Desnoyers, McBain, Baudouin as your centerman, because Hayden would be a perfect 4th line center. His offensive production wouldn't be an issue because he goes to the front of the net, he wins faceoffs, he has some sneaky skill, can put the puck in the net. That'd be a great 4th line center for me. So I wouldn't want to move away from him, but you gotta do something, and he's a pending unrestricted free agent, so that's why it's more digestible to move on from him, and he's probably got high value compared to a guy like Stenlund, who I believe is also a pending free agent, but he's a bona fide 4th line center, no ceiling, whereas Hayden's got a greater ceiling. But you gotta make a trade. For me, what I'm looking for is another big body, top 6, fierce winger. You can't have Carconi and Yamamoto playing every single game. I know I love those players work hard. They go to the front of the net. They do the good work, but you can't have both of them playing in your forward group. Those are what I call sort of anchor players. One of them needs to go, or try to move Yamamoto to Tucson, maybe sneak him through waivers. But you got to put in just a more top 6 forward there instead of 2 fringe NHLers, even though they play well. But you got to get more offense in this forward group, even though it looks like they have enough offense. You have Keller, Cooley, Gunther, Schmaltz, Peterka, but they're just not consistent putting the puck in the net. Bring up Daniel Boot. I mean, in the minors, in the Tucson Roadrunners, there's not much help on defense, goalie, or forward, but Daniel Boot seems to be that bright spot, that big body power forward who has that shoot first mentality, attacks the middle of the ice. You got to bring him up. You got to make a change. I don't know what the change is, but any change will signal something, and these consistent line blending is kind of hurting you rather than making your team better. If you want a goalie change, I don't know what you're doing there, because I don't know who's available. Everyone knows our goaltending issue is bad, so no one's taking our goalies. And what teams are really tanking just yet? It's going to take another few weeks, maybe a month, for teams to realize they're actually tanking. The only goalie I circle was maybe Lankinen from Vancouver. They're having a really poor season. It looks like they're not going to make the playoffs. They already said their veterans are for sale. So maybe you knock on the door, be like, hey, you got Demko as your future. Can we take Lankinen? Maybe give them a Schmaltz for Lankinen and a third and Vanacek or something like that. There's no goalie solution for the Roadrunners. Vialta and Stauber are not better than Vanacek. So we're kind of stuck there in the goaltending department. But I agree, goaltending needs to be better, defense needs to be better, forwards need to be better, the coaches need to be better. Krause said it after the San Jose game, from the top down, everyone needs to be better. And I think we're approaching lost season territory, where a lost season is just a blip in the radar of a trajectory of a good team. And you have that one season where, whether it's due to injuries, whether due to something, it's just a blip in the radar. In the moment, it sucks, but in the long-term vision, it was just a blip in the radar. It's a lost season. You try to recoup what you can, maybe sell off some players and get more draft picks in. So then at this draft, you have an even better draft. And then next year, you're injecting Boot, Ginla, maybe Baudouin, maybe those draft picks you cooped up. You pick a really good player, he could come into the lineup, and it helps for your long-term vision, but doesn't really help you right now. That could be an avenue as well. I'm not sure we're there yet because we're like 2 or 3 points out of a playoff spot. They can turn this around, and I believe they have the players to turn it around. I think they just need a spark, and no one really knows what that spark is just yet. Whether it's a trade, whether it's bringing up Daniel Boot, whether it's a coaching change, a spark needs to happen, and pretty much enough is enough. It's bad watching. I can't even imagine being a player on the team and having to play these games, and not even to mention whatever Keller is going through. He's immune to criticism for the rest of the season after the passing of his father. Like, in my opinion, he should take a week or 2 off, be with his family, but that is his decision. No one knows how to tell him how he could cope. If this is his way of coping and he wants to play, that's fine. But if it was me, I would take a week or 2 off. But so he's immune to that. But it seems like the mojo, the morale, the confidence is shot with the team, and something needs to happen. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.